On today's show, we'll wrap up the garden tour, we'll learn some great tips on using bricks in your garden, and Barbara and I will explore the wonderful world of cheese. Jerry's back with her delicious and healthy pasta dish she learned while in Italy.
All right, now I'm going to take you into my side garden. Now you're really going to enjoy this. I do a lot of entertaining in this side garden for the obvious reasons. There's a lot of chairs here, but what really people enjoy is the pergola. Now I have two types of wisterias growing on the pergola. One of them is just the classic wisteria, which is very temperamental and I don't always get a bloom out of it. But I have the Amethyst Falls. What is the Amethyst Falls? It's a wisteria that can bloom 4 times within the growing season. And it's a little bit different than the normal wisteria because it guarantees a bloom each and every year. Unlike the normal wisteria, which is very difficult and temperamental and you're not really sure if it's going to bloom, this one is only 3 years old and it has bloomed each and every year. Many people don't know about the Amethyst Falls. Now, when you find it, buy it because they're very hard to find. What's beautiful about this is not only all the great flowers and the fact that it's clustered and it's very tight, unlike the regular wisteria, is that it can bloom 4 times within the growing season. That's a powerful punch in any garden. Here in a side garden, where I spend a lot of time entertaining, I like to do things that you normally don't discover in any kind of container gardens. Here's the endless summer hydrangea. I love to put hydrangeas in containers, but one of the reasons why I love putting this hydrangea in a container is that it's a guaranteed bloom. You have to love anything that's a guaranteed bloom. Now, you normally wouldn't find in containers hydrangeas, but for me, doing something unusual and something that you wouldn't normally see in a container is what I'm all about. It's an absolutely beautiful flower and it blooms on the new wood, so it makes it very, very easy to have in your garden. If you ever see the endless summer hydrangea, pick them up. They're worth having in your garden. I hope you enjoyed my garden tour, giving you a little bit of information about different things that you can do in your garden. Not long ago, I mentioned that this is reality TV, and I meant it. This is real. This is stuff that you can actually do. And trust me, if I can do it, you can do it too. MarsJennings here with another lifestyle tip. I love the hydrangeas, but my favorite is loving the Annabelle. Here's the Annabelle, and this is what happens to the Annabelle in about, here we are in August, almost the end of August, and it's turned to this great green color. The beautiful thing about the Annabelle is that it's just about dried out, so it doesn't even require any water. So what do? I take the leaves off, just like that, bunch them together and put them in a great urn. Splash of color, something interesting and something unique. The relationship with my Annabelle is a long one that I'll enjoy year after year.
When we return, Sam Galt will share his experiences on beautifying our garden for years to come by selecting the right bricks to line your garden. You don't want to miss this.
Want a real workout? Want a great body? Callus Physical Arts. Real martial arts. Real fitness. Visit our 12,000 square foot center in Norwalk or our new studio in Wilton.
So many choices, so little time. Pet Pantry Warehouse in Greenwich.
The MarsJennings Home and Garden Show brings you affordable, creative, and inspiring projects to dress up your home, garden, and life. Check your local listings for times and dates. Can't get enough of the show? Log on to my website and discover even more home and garden and lifestyle tips. You'll also find my favorite recipes that you've seen on the show. Constantly updated, you're sure to discover something new each and every time. So come back and come back often. Check us out at MarsJennings.com.
My next guest is here. His name is Sam Galt from Sam Galt Inc. in Westport, Connecticut, who is a 5th generation in stone and landscaping supply. He's here to tell me exactly what happened when I was persistent to buy old-fashioned bricks to line my garden beds with, and it did not work out. So Sam, thanks so much for coming here today and pointing out my flaws and the fact that I do make mistakes, but you're going to correct all that, right?
Thanks, Mar. This is great. Wonderful backyard you have here. It's tremendous.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
And
a little oasis,
right? And I can tell that these bricks that you put in are, this is a common mistake that people make. People go for aesthetics over top of what they really should put in, but it's okay. We're going to forgive you this time.
Thank you very much. Thank you
very
much.
So with these kind of bricks, usually they're used for either a chimney or a facade or something like that, and then of course when they touch the ground they become this.
Because we have such severe winters here, and they're very poor, so the water gets into them, and then they just completely crack through the entire winter. And I'm in the house looking at them saying, wow, this is not good.
It happens
So what can we do so that does not happen?
Well, what we want to do is we want to have a brick such as this. This is a molded brick, okay, that is in the kiln longer than your normal brick that you would put on a chimney. Okay, so this is a harder baked brick. All right, so this is called the middle plantation brick. Obviously, you're going to put them in the same way that you had them before.
Yes, because I like to put them horizontally.
You want to put them horizontally. They look nicer that way. They're still going to get that moss that you like and that English garden feel.
Fantastic.
So you're still going to get that. You like that. That's a middle plantation.
Marvelous, because I like to put mayonnaise on them to give them a jump start, actually.
Do you really?
Yes.
I haven't heard of that, but that's interesting.
It works. It works.
I'm learning
well.
something from you, too.
See that? All right, we're sharing here.
This is a Robinson Cambridge brick, okay? This actually comes from Denver, or manufactured in Denver. Again, it's a nice brick all the way around. It comes in different colors, basically a range of colors.
And it looks nice and aged.
It has a nice age.
Around.
And this is a tumbled brick, okay? So this actually gets tumbled, whereas these bricks here I showed you earlier come out of a mold. All right, so that's the real difference there. I like this one better. I like it too. Yeah. Of course, this is about $1.50, so it's a little bit more expensive.
Okay.
A little bit more expensive.
But you won't have this problem going on.
You will not have that problem going on.
They'll sustain the test of time.
Right, and you won't have that problem with this type of a molded brick too. This is what they call a Glengarry 53DD brick, which is again a very hard brick that you can put in the ground that will last for years and will get that nice, kind of mold growing on it over time.
Fantastic.
So it's really nice. It's a really nice brick.
This one.
That one's just Boston City Hall.
They're labeled to keep them in check.
We're keeping ourselves honest today, aren't we?
Right.
So this is a Boston City Hall, just a little bit darker brick, again, molded. This has a little bit of extrusion here. This is a...
I'm not crazy about this look for my garden, but it might work for a little bit more of a zen.
Yeah, it's a frog, what they call this is a frog back, and you can use this as a paver as well, if you want to put a patio down or something like that in this brick. So it's a nice brick. But it's a little bit different color. It's a little bit more of a maroon color. But hey, Boston City Hall, so you know where they came from.
You know where they're coming from.
Right.
Well, thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome.
This was just, Sam, really great information. And as I said, I made the mistake. You don't have to make the same mistake. And it makes a big difference to have the proper brick in your garden. And using a mallet, putting them in horizontally makes the perfect garden addition.
Perfect.
No matter what time of year it is, you'll be able to enjoy it. So thanks so much for being here.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Thanks
it.
for inviting me.
Good information.
Okay,
when do I get my bricks now?
Oh, tomorrow.
Paying close attention to details has always been my expertise. This attention has now become one of my most valuable trademarks for my home and garden. Having these few simple reminders helps you stay motivated and focused. Here are my own professional recommendations to details that will help you stay on track. D. Discover your opportunities to create and enhance. E. Evaluate the project you selected. T. Take the time to appreciate the good and the bad. A. Ask questions to professionals. I. Identify the things that you will need. L. Learn from your resources. S. start with a plan and a timeline to help you finish. And there you have it. For more marvelous home and garden ideas, log on to my website at MarsJennings.com. We'll be right back.
Don't go away. When we return, Barbara, my neighbor, is here to help explore the wonderful world of cheeses and how it can enhance any party.
Few things are as important to parents today than the health and well-being of their children. Their medical needs require the experience, sensitivity, and patience that the board-certified pediatricians and staff of Park Street Pediatrics provide. They meet the hectic needs of working parents with flexible, extended, and weekend hours in a pleasant and unhurried environment. Park Street Pediatricians take the time to listen. Park Street Pediatrics, across from the Green in Norwalk. Want a real workout? Want a great body? Callus Physical Arts. Real martial arts. Real fitness. Visit our 12,000 square foot center in Norwalk or our new studio in Wilton.
Now, Barbara, let's really tell them what cheese is really all about. And what I'm referring to is the prelude to any dinner is having some great cheese. And we have quite a spread here for you. So, Barbara, tell me a little bit about what you brought here.
Well, I'm a big fan of this as a starter because I love for my guests to gather around in my case, my island, and I like to set out a big spread so that they can just help themselves and keep busy while I'm, of course, still preparing dinner. But there's so many products that you can buy already made. Like this is a great one, Boursin, to keep in your cheese drawer. You just, undo the foil and plop it on a cheese board. Here's another one. This is from a specialty market. It's hot horseradish and cheddar spread, which is also excellent. Have a variety of crackers. This is a cracker. It's called the Crispini, and it's available
we always have that.
Yeah, they have it at specialty markets, and they have it at Trader Joe's, and
or even a good cheese shop will carry that.
Exactly, and it comes in a little bag, and I particularly love it with this cheese. And this is a Cambazola, which is a blue veined cheese, but it's got the texture and consistency of a brie or a camembert, and it's just excellent. Why don't you give that a try?
Wow. Oh, delicious.
And the extra crispy cracker with the extra soft cheese is a really nice
combination.
And
incidentally enough, people should know is that when you are serving cheese, you want to put it out hours before you're actually serving it.
Yes,
because room temperature is great.
Because the full flavor comes out. It's just like red wine needs to be at room temperature for its full flavor.
So let it breathe a little bit. And we pulled out from the herb garden some of our herbs, and we actually picked them during the hot day today, so they're kind of wilting a little bit. So that's another great tip. If you are going to go into the garden, and we have some basil here, that you want to pick it either early in the morning or later, or put it in the refrigerator and transition it to the table.
Exactly. And along with a variety of crackers, you see we have some multi-grain whole wheat crackers here that are just excellent. These really crispy ones. But then we also have some nice Italian bread that you can just cut that into smaller pieces, and it's really nice to have a piece of cheese, the harder cheese like this sharp cheddar,
well, go ahead, cut that. Go ahead, cut that.
You're in, huh? Okay.
I'm in.
Coming right up.
And the Italian bread, it reminds me so much of Italy when we've been away.
Yes.
Enjoying some great Italian bread, and even adding to this mix here, and we're talking about saying cheese and incorporating cheese, but a little olive oil to add to this would be fantastic. So,
in fact, if you this is where you splurge. Get the really good olive oil. Not for doing all your cooking, but for doing just that final drizzle, like just on a piece of really good French bread or Italian bread. And then a little bit of that rock salt. Amazing. You could also put grape tomatoes and mix them with red grapes for some color and some interest on your plate. Varying the heights of the cheese and the textures all around. We have some things from the garden here. We have some herbs like Mar mentioned. A nice peppered salami is a really nice addition to the cheese. And this is a hard Pecorino Romano from Italy, which is a very pungent, strong cheese. And this is like the firm plate, the salami and the Pecorino. This is more the soft, area with the Cambozola and the Boursin and the Saint Andre.
There are specialty stores that just cater with cheese, right?
Right.
And you can go there, and we sometimes get into a rut because we know what we like, but we don't branch out and actually try something that we'd probably never try unless we went to a cheese shop and actually had the opportunity to taste it.
Well, it's like with my wine shop too. I tell my wine merchant what I like, and then he offers me tastes of other things that are in that family. You can do the same thing with the cheese store, and any really good cheese store will give you a taste.
This is a wonderful way to say cheese in your life and have other people enjoy it. Experiment, layer it, bring the garden from outside to your platters, okay? Right. And it's also worth mentioning that we just use some cutting boards in this case.
No fancy cheese trays or anything necessary. This is just one giant cutting board.
Well, this is a wonderful display, and thank you so much for showing this off to us. And we're going to make sure that our crew here has the opportunity of tasting all this, but you too can repeat this at your home, and just keep in mind, keep it simple, experiment, find a cheese shop that you feel comfortable with, and just introduce it as a prelude to any dinner or any event that you might be going to. So
absolutely.
Say cheese,
cheese
over and over again. Bring the garden indoors is truly what I'm all about. The urn lends itself to be the perfect way to capture this feeling. In my home, I have several that I've incorporated, no matter what the season is. Here's a perfect example. These were originally outside, and I brought them in after they rusted over a little bit. I love the actual coloring now that it's created, and it's a wonderful rust feeling back in my home that was originally outside. The urn can also be used as a lamp, and here's a perfect example: the urn as a lamp, using candles, adding sand, or even adding a plant. No matter what you do, it's a wonderful look to have indoors. And there you have it.
When we come back, Jerry will show us her healthy and delicious pasta dish she learned while in Italy that's easy to make and everyone will love. Yum, yum. Closed captioning for the MarsJennings Home and Garden Show is provided by the following: Pellini, a zest for life. Nobody does style like the Italians, and Pellini Limoncello is the most Italian of drinks. Passionate, chic, pizzazz in a glass. Pellini, a zest for life.
Your pet has a personality all their own. Like you, they like to play hard. They're outspoken, competitive, and enjoy their quiet time. They bring a smile to our face every day. More than just a loyal family pet, they're part of the family. And because their love shows no bounds, neither should yours. Pet Pantry Warehouse in Greenwich.
The MarsJennings Home and Garden Show brings you affordable, creative, and inspiring projects to dress up your home, garden, and life. Check your local listings for times and dates. Can't get enough of the show? Log on to my website and discover even more home and garden and lifestyle tips. You'll also find my favorite recipes that you've seen on the show. Constantly updated, you're sure to discover something new each and every time. So come back and come back often. Check us out at MarsJennings.com.
On today's show, you can have your pasta and eat it too. My guest, Jerry Zakoff, nutritionist, wellness expert, and personal friend, is here to take us through it. Thank you, Jerry, for being here.
It's a pleasure, Mar. Thanks for having me.
All right, now you're going to show us a couple of different things and different variations of pasta, but most importantly, you're recalling upon your time when you were in Italy, right?
Yes, and the fact is that people are so afraid of eating carbs today, and I wanted to give people an opportunity to see that you can have your pasta and eat it too. It really depends on the kind of pasta that you pick and how much of it you eat.
Okay, so that's very important to understand because, of course, if you eat the entire pasta bowl, then it's not the right thing to do.
Right. Guidelines for pasta eating. When I lived in Italy, pretty much these pastas here, they're 1 pound. Pasta usually comes in pound packages. It's enough for 4 people for dinner or 6 as an appetizer. If you stay within those guidelines, you really can't go wrong. When I serve pasta, I usually serve it as an appetizer, and that's another way to limit your intake, and so you can have it and eat it too.
All right, that's very important. Now, you're going to take us through your pasta and a couple of different variations?
This particular pasta is a variation on spaghetti con aglio olio, which is garlic and oil. What I've decided to do is to put fresh herbs with it. You can use any that you have in the garden. Today we're having fresh basil, parsley, oregano, and rosemary. Now,
which all came from my MarsJennings
absolutely.
So worth mentioning.
And what I've done, what I wanted to show you is I have some garlic infused oil here, and I wanted to show you how I cut the garlic because it's very important. Now you'll notice a lot of people don't do this. This garlic happens to be fresh. It doesn't have a green stem in it. If it has a green stem in it, you definitely, well, you want to pick it out. You don't want to use it. And I cut the garlic in little strips like this because in the end it's going to end up on top of the pasta crunchy and adds a lot to the dish. So I have some pasta cooking. It should be done.
Done here.
Yep. In fact, we can pull it out.
Perfect.
These pasta pots are great, by the way. I'm going to just grab this bowl.
Here, let me help.
Okay, thank you. Now this is pasta. You always want to cook your pasta al dente. This happens to be organic whole grain pasta from Italy, which I really love. It's grainy. It has a great texture. The first thing we're going to do is pour the garlic oil on it.
Now you said al dente, and that's when you actually know when it's ready. You test it.
Yes, you should definitely test it, and it should. Al dente means to the bite. It should be firm. You don't want to eat mushy pasta because what you've done is cook all the fiber out of it, and if the more fiber that you have in it, the healthier it is.
Okay, good
point. So what we have here is fresh basil, fresh parsley, and you'll notice that I have a smaller amount of rosemary and oregano because these are a little bit more pungent herbs, so you want to use a little bit less of them. About 1/4 cup of the parsley and the basil, a couple tablespoons of oregano, and fresh rosemary. Now we're going to toss that with the garlic oil.
That's just the fragrance.
It's very aromatic. And the other thing is this is a great palette for anything that you have left over. Grilled vegetables, grilled shrimp, grilled meat. You just toss it in. If you wanted to, you could take the garlic out of the oil and save it and then put it on top, sprinkle it on top, but I just throw it in. And the last thing I'm going to add is Reggiano Parmigiano, about 3/4 cup. If you like more, you can put more, you like less. But I tend to serve pasta family style, which is how it's done in Italy, and I bring it to the table in a bowl and then serve it at the table. So since you guys can't see this so well, more if you would just put that
let's
platter.
just kind of put it so you can actually see that. And don't worry if you're not getting all this information because we're going to have this on MarsJennings.com, the complete recipe.
Should I pour it in the serving bowl?
Let's go ahead and put it there.
Okay.
And it makes just a great presentation as well.
You want to make sure you get all this good stuff out of the bowl. And then if you like, before you serve it, you're just going to finish it with a little more Parmigiano.
And I love to actually do this right before you're ready to put it onto the table.
And you know, in Italy, you want everyone seated at the table when you bring the pasta to the table. You know, because if you let it sit too long, it won't be fresh and perfect. And there you have it. It's
absolutely perfect. Now, of course, we're going to try this right here. So there's a plate for you.
Thank you.
And there's...
let me serve you.
Okay. And it actually smells just as delicious as I'm sure it will taste. And we're going to dig in. Perfect. Just like Italy. I love it. Thank you so much, Jerry.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
It's always great. And you'll come back. This is a great way to think about pasta and not to get so worried about the carbs, but think about portions. So a little portion like this goes a long way and it's good for your tummy. Till next time, we'll see you soon. The end of another great show. Thank you so much for joining us. Make sure you check your local listings for the next air date of the MarsJennings Show. Until next time, goodbye everyone.
The MarsJennings Home and Garden Show is proudly brought to you by Harbor Bank and Trust. Proposed, coming soon, trusted professionals who truly understand the local market and your wealth management goals. For more information, log on to MarsJennings.com.